Aaron Rodgers now falls to, I think it's either Aaron Rodgers or the Packers over the last 14 home playoff games are now 7-7, which is the most losses for any team in the last 20 years at home for
Wow.
playoff games. So that was another amazing one I saw. So, I mean, this makes everyone wonder, is this the end of Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay? I mean, we saw the weird antics last offseason. I don't see how things are radically different now. I think they're in even the Packers are in even worse salary cap situation. So I don't know how they can hold on to Rodgers and who's their, God damn it, I forgot the receiver's name.
Devontae Adams.
Adams, yeah. I don't think they can hold on to both of them with their salary cap situation. So I think this is the end of the road for the Packers and Aaron Rodgers. I mean, stranger things happen. I guess I thought that before this season. I thought he was going to be out with everything, all the weird shit he was pulling. But what do you think?
I think this is it. He's already, he already commented he's not interested in being part of a rebuild. Alluding to exactly what you're talking about. There's only so much room in that cap,
Yeah.
So if they found some way to like keep the team intact, then that changes that narrative. But I don't think there is a way to do that unless the players are willing to get very creative with.
Well, and I don't think he's willing to be there anymore either. I mean, it seems like he was halfway out the door anyway. So why would he bend over backwards to stay there
Exactly.
now?
No, right. Exactly. Yeah. So I think this is it. I guess the biggest question is, does he continue on or does he just, move into a booth or something? Because he can make a lot of money there and not being damaged every week. So
I think he wants to play. I think he just wants out of Green Bay. I mean, I think he's still at the top of his game. I think just the resources weren't allocated properly in Green Bay. Same thing he's been complaining about for years, and he needs a new environment to showcase his talent. So I don't think he's done. I think he's just done in Green Bay. But I just want him out of Green Bay in general. Get him out of the NFC North, away from my Lions, as the NFC North is in complete shambles. As the Bears and Vikings are completely rebuilding. If we could get the Packers to hit the reboot button, the Lions actually have like a year's head start on a rebuild over the rest of the division. So that's the main reason I'm looking for any reason for Aaron Rodgers to get the fuck out of there. So while that might be good news for the Lions, what wasn't good news for the Lions was the Rams pulled out a crazy victory over the Buccaneers. And you might have, did you see much of this game? Are you on the plane or what?
No, I saw it. We had like a long layover, so I saw every game. I saw the entire game. So
Perfect. Well, I mean, it was kind of a shit show to start out with. I mean, the Buccaneers couldn't do anything, and really, Matt Stafford looked great. The offense looked good. They were pretty much dominating that game, and then came in the fourth quarter, and crazy shit started happening, like usually happens to Matt Stafford in big games. He actually had a snap go like right by him on a shotgun snap, which it was either his mistake or the center's mistake, but they certainly were not on the same page, where the ball flew about 30 yards behind him and gave up the turnover right there. But somehow the Matt Stafford found a way, and he's getting all the credit by all these Stafford slappies across the country and mainly in Detroit. How Cooper Kupp could be that wide open after the improbable comeback by Tom Brady and the Buccaneers to tie the game. How Cooper Kupp could be left that wide open, the best receiver in the National Football League. I asked you what coverage was that. I texted you, and you called it cover zero, which I think is accurate.
Well, I think it was it was either a cover zero or cover one, because what happened on the play is, I think it was the strong safety.
Yeah.
Cut over because they sent more guys out than they had coverage for. And I don't know if they were expecting them to run or they had the blitz on or whatever. They were applying pressure.
Yeah.
So what I saw on the play was as Cooper Kupp's coming out, that defender that was cutting over hit into Cooper Kupp's corner, his coverage guy, and he just kept going.
I did see a bit of a pick on that. I haven't heard much of that discussed.
Well, it was a player picking his own players, so that's really not a pick. And that was it. There was no safety. There's no safety help over the top. So that's why they were either in a cover one, and the offensive play call was literally, as far as I saw it, the most perfect offensive play called for that situation. And he may have audible to that because he did the little thing. Stafford did this before that play happened, so he may have saw the coverage and audible to it that sent someone out on a route that made that defender come up that I think originally was supposed to be that help over the top, and it was gone, and so was Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
But, who else was very, being a Cowboys fan, I liked on that play was that Matthew Stafford took control of his entire team, got them down, handed the ball to the appropriate people, and spiked it.
Yeah, you do definitely have to give him credit for that. That was the way to run the last second fire drill, as opposed to how the Cowboys played it off the week before.
Which I've watched that play about 100 more times, and Prescott slides with 9 seconds, and it took 9 seconds to spot the ball, essentially.
Yeah,
unbelievable. Anyway, I thought, much like you, Smitty, when the ball went what looked like airmailed, like to the side, like you said, either Stafford didn't call the right snap count and had something else in his head.
Snap?
Yeah. When that happened, I was like, oh man, this is not going to be good. And then, of course, the fumbles. I mean, it was a lot of disaster, and I'm actually happy it happened because it made that game really fucking entertaining in the fourth quarter. Yet again, another great fourth quarter game.
Yeah, I mean, we had 4 walk-off wins in this one this weekend. The only entertaining part of the first half that I saw was a little spat between former Lions teammates Matt Stafford and Ndamukong Suh. Did you see that play where?
Yeah,
it was bizarre. I mean, essentially, Suh got to the quarterback and kind of fell on him. I don't know that it was roughing, or it may have been a little rough, but Matt Stafford got his feet basically into Suh's nuts. I don't know if it was a kicking motion, but it was kind of a collision while they were both falling on the ground. But it looked like Stafford was trying to kick him in the nuts, essentially. And somehow Ndamukong Suh got the roughing penalty for that, which I thought was hilarious. And you could hear him, when the ref was making the call, he's like, he kicked me. But it was just a couple of former Lions teammates doing some Lions shit, I guess. But
a little roughhousing, a little wrestling.
Yeah. But what this has done essentially is set up the worst case SOL scenario.
Right on time.
Exactly. Not only do the Lions did have a shot at the number 25 overall pick. The best case scenario going into last weekend was getting the number 25 pick if every game was an upset, including and having the Rams lose. And that almost happened. It came this close to happening, but alas, the Rams won, blowing that all up. So now the best that the Lions could possibly do is the number 29 pick. And the way things look, if you look at the schedule, I mean, the Rams are playing a home game for the NFC Championship this weekend, and they will be playing a home game for the Super Bowl if they make it through. So the next 2 games are in their own fucking stadium. So the plan has been laid. The perfect scenario is working out against the Lions. Not only the draft pick worst scenario, but the inevitable conversations about the Lions throughout this week and the 2 weeks after, if the Rams end up winning, about Matt Stafford and his infamous career with the Lions. We'll just be bombarded with how shitty the Lions are, all the failures of the franchise that I know all too well. I just kind of wish the Lions could be left alone at this point. That's the main reason I'm rooting for the Rams to lose. I can't take this anymore. I want to be forgotten. We're better not to be talked about at all, without being put into this light. It's not a fun scenario for me to be in. Lots of Lions fans, as I talked about last week. I'm using air quotes around Lions fans. I think they are Matt Stafford fans, because they are rooting against the interests of the Lions when you root for Matt Stafford and the Rams. I mean, there's no other way to put it. We are getting worse and worse draft picks because of the success of Matt Stafford and the Rams. So again, you can measure how big a deal that is or not, but I guess maybe I've just never been a fan of a specific player the way I see these fans of Matt Stafford. And I think maybe that's what's baffling me. And again, the only thing I can chalk it up to is a generation gap. I mean, maybe Barry Sanders, I was a fan of. I guess I would, if he had switched teams and went to a successful team and was going for the Super Bowl, I guess I'd be fired up about that. But the way you see Matt Stafford fans going on and just doing victory laps over the Lions, essentially, it doesn't make any sense to me. Do you have any? Maybe I'm just too close to this, oversensitive. I don't know what it is. Do you have any examples?
I didn't root for Emmitt Smith when he left the freaking Cowboys. That wasn't like good for him. He wasn't a Cowboy anymore.
Yeah, he went with the Cardinals.
Cardinals, yeah. I mean, I didn't like root against them, but
it wasn't a big
let me reset the same scenario though. Same scenario, I would have been rooting against him for my team had a higher draft pick.
It just seems simple, but when you bring that argument up, people just tell you to shut up on social media. Like, great argument, but thanks for. It's like they don't even understand where you're coming from. I'm not rooting against. I don't have a vendetta against Matt Stafford. It just does not help my team in any way if he wins. So,
yeah. I also am shocked that somehow, as their draft pick got lower and the better he performed, because a lot of when a bigger type of player gets traded like a Stafford, who the reason the Rams wanted him was because they thought, with the right talent around him, he could be a Super Bowl performer. I am shocked that in that contract, you guys aren't just not first round picks, but that you're not getting extra draft picks because of all this.
Yeah, well, they could have.
That's usually a normal caveat to a trade such as that, but there may have been other factors involved that they got out of it that I don't know the details of.
Well, we've got their first round pick next year too. Is maybe what they.
So maybe that's what they went for. So that's okay. Yeah, that's different. So yeah, okay.
I mean, I don't know the details or.
Could you imagine though? Can you imagine if you went a different direction and it was performance based? Like you guys would own the fucking draft.
Yeah.
For the next few years. It'd be like the Herschel Walker trade.
Yes. That led to three Super Bowl championships for your Cowboys in the early 90s.
You got that right.
Well, that's what I'm looking for my Lions, but we seem a million miles away from that.
Word Hole Media.